Hello, my name's host Eric. I'm here with host Nick and Nandi and um, some other people over here. Let's see, Michelle's here. Aspiring Beam of Light. Maria is here. Elsie's here. Waiting for Name, one of my favorites, is here. And as well as my robot friends. And Unify's here too. So, the news of the day is tri-type 583. We're going to do a video on that tri-type. If you identify with this tri-type, that means you are identifying yourself as a solution master. Now, don't worry. You're not going to be asked to prove that you are the master of solutions. Just that it indicates to you how it is that you will go about interacting in social environments. So, Nick here identifies with 385. That's achiever, piao piao, thinker. Piao piao is a word that we use for piao piao. So that's the 8. It's anger. It's oh, you want to be angry? Well, I'm going to be angry back at you. All right. So if we look at his tri-type 385, we see achiever first. That means first and foremost, his concern as an emotion is going to be shame. Would you agree with this, Nick, that you're more driven by shame than fear or anger?
Yeah.
Can you turn on your microphone? Oh no, it might be me. Never mind. It might be me. Yeah, it was me. Did you say yes?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Um and then the 8 would indicate that your first reaction to conflict is to piao piao. And if that doesn't work, then you think about it a lot.
Um, yeah, but there was so much piao piao that I try and be really, I try and not react that way since it's kind of conflicts with the whole idea of achieving something and getting things done. But when it's real bad, if I don't have much emotional intelligence or take control of that stuff, then yeah, for
Well, I don't
sure.
think it necessarily does conflict with achieving. For me, I achieved a lot better once I discovered my piao piao a few years back after I quit drinking. But regarding the solution
Depends on who I'm
master,
talking.
regarding the solution master, you're saying at this point for you, you probably would be better served by being a 358. Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know.
Because you're trying to avoid using the piao piao. See, for me, I like to think of my tri type as going 7-8-3, which means first I try to play, then you try to interrupt my play, then I get mad at you, and if it still doesn't work, then fine, I'll stop playing and I'll do something. Now,
My
for
piao piao is pretty piao piao-y.
so you're 385, that would mean first you try to achieve when people get in the way of what you want, you piao piao, and when that
Yeah.
doesn't work, you pull back and you think about it and strategize.
Mm.
Would you agree with that order of operations?
Yeah.
Okay, then that makes it probably. Then I'm saying that looks like the right order then. Because if it was more like first you try to achieve, if something gets in your way, you think about it, and it's still in your way, then you piao piao. Then that would be the other way around. But I think it's. I think you're right. I think you're 385. Regardless, the title solution master. Can you relate that to yourself in the sense that do you see yourself as somebody who comes in and solves problems?
Yeah. Whether they're accepted or not is another story, but I generally know what to do when a problem arises, for sure.
It's uh, an interesting topic for me because we have, as an example, the way that you came into this environment and began to try to direct things a bit because it was more or less rudderless. And I think that there was you came in as an achiever. Um, we got into Piao Piao. Then you thought about it a lot, and you changed the way that you moved people a little bit. So I think that's interesting. Um, what do you think about the differences between you and me regarding our tri-types, from what you see?
Um, I think what we want is different, and what our fears are different, and um, the way we analyze things, and you like you said, you're more focused on short-term game and tactical stuff. I'm more focused on where is this going? What can we do? What's how to make it just trying to create a better version or idea of something than people would typically imagine possible. That's what I enjoy.
No, I think we can both agree that I have better hats than you.
For sure.
But I think that's the seven in the first slot, you see. I don't think you pay as much attention to your hats as you could. You could be
Well,
getting
I think your
fun
Piao
hats
Piao,
like this.
your Piao Piao is a little tastier than mine.
Mm. Well, I try to piao fair, but it's loud sometimes. Mine gets awfully loud. I do a lot of yelling and screaming. The other day at the tournament, host Ken was on the phone with me, and Ming Yu called me, and he still couldn't find the room, and I'd already told him where it was, and he'd called me before, and I hate when people call me with like, what building am I supposed to go to? Fucking figure it out. But anyway, and I fucking screamed on him. I told you fucking 50 times, goddammit! Just find that fucking room, you're gonna be late! And I hung up, and then I
Yeah.
went I went back, I was like, oh, Ken, I just yelled at this seventh grader. I mean, I screamed at him. And, he, and he's like, well, you should apologize. So I called him back. I'm like, hey, Mingy, I'm sorry I screamed at you. He's like, that's okay. What was it? So, that's not the point. This video is about the 583 385 835 personality type. As a 7, I get a little sidetracked. Nick's probably a little bit more attuned to staying on topic, things like that. As a 5, obviously, he's going to be more meticulous and deliberative about a given system or a given set of choices than me. I tend to just jump at the one that my gut says go to. So,
That's interesting. That's where we're different for sure.
yeah, I don't have that 5 in me. I am very effective at TI stuff, especially in terms of argumentation and stuff like that. But it doesn't mean that I'm a 5 at all. I'm not that deliberative. I get tired of thinking about shit after a little while. I get tired of it. I just get tired of my TI gets tired. Do you feel like your TI gets not tired?
Yeah, I don't feel like that. I feel like it'll go running in the wrong direction or spinning in circles at times, which is annoying. I'm always wanting it to do more. Um, and I'm always getting caught up in making sure that I don't claim things to be true that aren't.
Is
I'm
that
hyper aware of that.
is that a walk-in freezer behind you?
No.
It looks like it. Regardless, so you have fairly large ambitions in life. Would you like to do you are they articulated or are they just sort of general?
They're they're pretty articulated while being general at the same time, and um, well, I would suppose they'd sound quite narcissistic, ridiculous, grandiose.
Well, Nick, I want you to know that I believe in you. I think you will achieve those goals, whatever they are. And I appreciate the giving oneself permission to aim high. I think it's important.
I
It's
appreciate
We
that.
live in a society that says, "Oh, come on now," all the time,
Hmm.
and to which I say, "No, you oh, come on now."
Well, and it's interesting because I may I may not take I may not value people being comfortable very much, but my ambition and goals also are aligned with the whole serving the greater good thing too. Like I don't want it to be completely
You,
self-serving.
so, what do you think you get out of altruism? Is it a feelings thing? For me, I can if I have to nail something down objective that I get out of it, uh, it's spiking shit out basically. It's defense for potential cracks of vulnerability in my spike wall.
I don't know that I understand that. I don't know if there is. My altruism is if you can call it altruism, is feeling the need to protect others who couldn't protect themselves from problems or manipulation or just any kind of vulnerability. I don't like that. I don't like people who prey on that.
Right. I don't like that either. I mean, it's interesting though that I think it's very easy to say people with our respective tri types, but even more so yours probably that they're guilty of self interest because not that it's something to be guilty of per se, but because the achieving means they want it for I want me to be achieving, and the thinking means like I'm going to be deliberative and make the right choice for me and all that kind of stuff. But in
I
my
don't think it has to be. Oh, go ahead.
but in my opinion, it's reductive to say that people with your tri type or mine are not driven by goodwill for humanity in any sense.
Well, my definition of achieving means that others are. I can't do it on my own, and anybody who helps me achieve is I want them to be benefactors as well. And I actually want to see other people achieve, which is why I don't only do problem solving for myself. Solution. I went and had an hour discussion with you because I generally wanted to try and figure out a way to help you out, but it didn't necessarily mean getting anything in return for me.
Right. I appreciate that. And I I think that I think that people who are trying to do things are subject to potentially a lot of misinterpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any
Absolutely.
other thoughts on that? How that occurs?
Well, I mean, you have so many you have so many obvious examples of where people have done that uh, in a way that would align with that statement or belief. And you have a lot of people who have taken advantage of others or accepted the a lot of people screw others to get over to get ahead. You know, especially in capitalism, a lot of lies, a lot of deceit, a lot of manipulation. So, um, and it's also the very thing of saying that you're more capable than others of achieving, and that in its own gives a lot of credence to a negative image of somebody because you have to be able to say I think I'm better than other people in order to do such things as well.
Now, I think it's worth noting that not everybody feels as though achievement is the value to be prioritized. Like implicit in your statement is, well, obviously achieving's best. So if you say you can achieve better than somebody else, then that's what everybody wants. Some people may want to help better than other people. I don't know. It seems an odd answer,
Right.
but it's obviously the case because some people are helper types, and others are
Yeah.
whatever isolation art types or something like that. So okay, anything else you want to add about your tri type 385 583, the solution master, Nick, before we go?
Yeah, it's tough having that and being an ENTP, I think.
Oh yeah, the Myers Briggs connection. Are
I mean,
are there other types that could be 385? What other types do you think are likely to be 385?
ENTJ.
That's what I was thinking too. And maybe INTJ.
Yeah, yeah, INTJ as well. But it's it takes some discipline to achieve anything, and you can't. There's not every battle is won with the debate. Not every battle is won with words, um, and you have to, because achievement requires participation from others. You have to take emotions and feelings that you don't necessarily understand into consideration, and you have to work with those. You can't just bypass them or just beat somebody over the head with logic. I mean, you have to understand that the way somebody feels about something, regardless of if it is logical or not, it is real to them, and they're a part of your team, and they're a part of the big thing that you have moving and you're trying to achieve, and you have to make it all work together. Um,
It means a lot of TE stuff that may be TI compromise. And I think that could be a challenge for ENTPs because we do prefer TI as our judging function.
yeah, and sometimes it's hard to understand how other people don't get certain things. You got to be able to explain something that's seemingly obvious in a different way, or something. You got to be and you got to be focused too, because you can come with all these ideas, and some of them are just going to distract from the overall success or achievement of whatever you're trying to do. I mean, you can't just come up with a new thing to do every hour, because you got to stay on course one way or another of whatever you set out to do in the first place.
Right. That's a challenge for me for sure.
It's a big challenge, but it's also a challenge to come up with the new ideas to just reinforce the ones you've already got going, which is, I think, the way to do it.
Right.
Focus on the parameters of the idea making, so they are producing things within the overall structure you've already got going. Keep the
See,
momentum going.
I mean, the way I sort of tackled my own doing problem was to develop a system of doing things that allowed me to finish everything I was doing in one sitting. So that
Yeah.
I never had anything that I was doing that took more than a day
Hmm.
because I didn't like and couldn't function with, actually, to put it simply, I was unable to conceive and function with a world in which projects extended out over a series of days and weeks. I hated those sort of projects. I've always hated them. I don't like doing work that's not immediately uh, producing.
Well, the way I found of getting around that, especially in a team environment in business, for example, is taking the hardest projects. You're taking the hardest component of a project. Maybe it's something new, but regardless, it has to be challenging for me. And it's helpful because oftentimes it's the thing that nobody else wants to do. So I can take that on, do it. I'll be hyper focused on it to where I'm sitting down for 14, 15 hours, um, and then that that makes it easier for me to hand off the smaller stuff that I wouldn't do properly because they wouldn't value it or something, and hand it off to other people where it's like, okay, he did this big thing the last time, sure, I'll do that.
Right. Well, I mean, that sounds like a good solution to the problem
I like what you
we're
did there.
discussing. Yeah. I bring it back around to Enneagram 385 tri type. If you're watching this, get back to work. What the hell? You're slacking off? Come on.
Yeah, talk to me. I want to talk to you, fellow ENTP 385s or any sort of the.
Nick would
I
love to
do.
talk to one of you. And I think that
Come up with some great solutions.
we've got a couple of 783s in the mix, the mover shakers, but Nick's the only 583 I know. So if you're a 583, come talk to him and me if you'd like to. And thanks for watching Talk with Faith People. Don't forget, as always, to eat plenty of cheese. It's the only way you'll grow up big and strong.